The expert team of the Aircraft Accident Investigation Board that inquired into the Air India plane crash at Ahmedabad, which happened around a month ago, has submitted their preliminary investigation report to India's union government. Parts of the report have been published by the media today morning. The report has recorded their preliminary findings. I think these findings are going to be the basis of all future investigation. I think what the investigation team did was to record all the available evidences, to record whatever they saw, whatever they recorded, whatever they got from, parties concerned, etc. So from that, we can understand certain things. These are prima facie, conclusions. The most important factor is that they have been able to, the team has been able to download voice recordings from the cockpit voice recorder. And when they played it, it was heard that one of the pilots were asking the other, "Did you switch off the control switches that regulate the flow of fuel to engines?" The other was heard, saying, "I didn't do it. Who did it?" There was panic in his voice. So, this is one of the preliminary findings. It means that definitely the fuel flow to both engines had been cut off. So, this is the preliminary finding. So, this could be the reason for the crash of the aircraft. That is, the fuel flow to the engines was cut off. That was the reason why the plane crashed. That is the preliminary finding. Then, the prima facie, we can dismiss certain options which were earlier thought to be cause of the accident. For example, the accident was not the result of a bird hit. That was evident from the evidences. Then we could safely dismiss the possibility of one of the pilots, having a health problem. That could also be dismissed. Then the accident was not the result of any physical attack like some, terror group firing a missile at the plane or a bomb blast. Such physical sabotage attempts could be dismissed. But how did the switches went off? We don't know. Was it a human act or was it a result of something going wrong in the programming? Was it a mechanical problem? We don't know about it. But I think these preliminary findings are going to be the basis of all future investigation. They speak a lot. Investigators will be able to find the real cause of the accident from all the data available. I am sure that the investigating team might have spoken to all eyewitnesses who witnessed the accident. Then they might have collected all the parts of the aircraft, and a forensic examination of the parts might have been held. I'm sure it has been held. Then again, the recordings of the black box, then the cockpit voice recorder, everything has been downloaded and examined. So I think now evidences are enough. You have to take forward the investigations. Let's get to the details of the whole issue. Let's try to analyze what might have happened based on the prima facie conclusions. Welcome to Insights. I am Hari Kumar. As I said, definitely the plane crash was not the result of a bird hit. The preliminary investigation report has dismissed that completely. Now, again, some kind of health problem happening to the pilots also could be dismissed. That was not the problem. The real issue was, the fuel flow to the engines have been cut off. the fuel flow to both engines have been cut off. Though the pilots switched on or allowed the fuel flow to happen again, there was too little time for the plane to regain the height because the plane was just about 500 or 600 feet high, and it would take a few seconds for the fuel to flow into the engines and the engines to restart. By that time the plane crashed. That time was actually not enough for the engines to revive. So that was the reason why the plane nosedived and it crashed. And around around 270 or so 272 people died in the accident. All the passengers except one person, and many people who were staying in a building hostel, it was a medical college hostel, they also got killed in the crash. So that is the reason. Now the question is, how did the switches went off? Did somebody manually do it, or was it a mechanical or a programming error? Some command switched off the switches. We don't know. From the data available on the public domain, it's very clear that both the switches have separate locks. Then they are protected by guards. So I mean, it's not human guards. There is some kind of physical barriers. So we can safely infer that it was not accidentally switched off. Again, the question is, did one of the pilots switch off and he lied? We don't know. I'm not saying that the pilot a pilot might have done it. I'm not casting aspersions on the integrity of a pilot, but just I am thinking about a possibility. All types of possibilities needed to be investigated. So that is why I just said this. Now, was it because of a programming error or a command might have gone to switch off the, switch off the both the switches were went off because of a command? We don't know. That I think future investigations need to explain us, tell us. So this is the situation. Or there is another doubt. Did somebody sneak into the cockpit? We don't know. There is, from the present evidences or from the news media reports, it doesn't seem to be so. But again, there is a possibility. I am raising a possibility. But if you look into mechanical error or programming error aspect, one previous warning issued by Federal Aviation Administration FAA of the United States says there was a possibility for malfunctioning of the fuel control switches. So we need to examine that aspect. Was it a programming error or was it a mechanical error? There have been many allegations against Boeing company. Many whistleblowers who formerly worked in the Boeing raised many questions about the safety checks, about the recurring mechanical problems of Boeings, and I think if that was the case, then the Boeing company cannot wash their hands off. They they manufactured the airplanes randomly, so they just dismissed the possibility of something going wrong. Even though they came to know about certain issues, they didn't take proper actions to correct it. That could be inferred if this is a programming error, if it is the result of a wrong command or some other mechanical issue. Then, right from the beginning, many aviation experts have been saying that the engines had gone off, and that could be the reason for the crash, because the ram air turbine, which is called rat, had come out before the plane crashed. A rat is something like an alternate power storage device. It produces power like a windmill, and when the plane moves fast, it is able to generate some power, and that will help the plane to do, I mean, make some or guide that will help the plane to go forward or make landing in case the engines fail. So it is very clear that the engines had failed, and such inferences which had been made earlier are correct. This is what the latest finding of the aviation accident, aircraft accident investigation board proves. So many valuable conclusions have been arrived at by the investigation board. Now these conclusions need to be investigated. We need to look into the aspect of mechanical errors or other issues, because the Boeing company has been accused of randomly treating all the complaints. They didn't do proper checkups. Again, one aspect we need to investigate is the possibility of somebody sabotaging, somebody getting inside. It was, as I said, it was not a physical attack, but again there is a possibility that somebody might have sneaked into the cockpit and might have switched it off. Or was it one of the pilots? Was he lying? We don't know. I hope the future investigations will reveal the truth. It may not be the contamination of fuel as some people might have, feared. Again, there had been doubts about, whether proper checkings had been done before the plane took off. Why the plane was cleared for takeoff? I'm sure the plane, before takeoff of an aircraft, always all type of checkings are being done. So was there some kind of electrical problem, mechanical problem, or hydraulic systems malfunctioning? Was the possibility of all those aspects looked into and properly investigated? We don't know. Anyway, let's wait for further investigations, future investigations based on this report and more findings. I will meet you with updates. Till then, goodbye.